What's up with you? What's up with you? We got some updates on the war earlier today. Trump said that the United States will be out of Iran pretty quickly and could return and hit spots if needed. That's what he said to Reuters. Now, the whole boots on the ground thing, people believe he's going to announce that that's going to happen. That's already been happening. Now, but the thing you have to remember, because they say he's saying this stuff because the stock market goes by what they say. So he's deliberately saying the war is over. They don't have weapons. Iran had their largest strikes last night. They just peppered Israel with missiles last night. They got plenty of weapons, but Trump keeps saying they got no weapons. They got nothing to fight with, but they do. And they still control the strait. And Trump says he's leaving. Now, if he goes by what he says, Iran has the strait. Iran still has their enriched uranium. This grandchild is still in charge. He's still alive. China's helping. Russia's helping. They're going to rebuild their weapons. So what did we accomplish? You do have to ask that question. What did the United States accomplish? We went over there for what? We went all the way over there for what? What did we accomplish? We spent a lot of money. But what did we accomplish? We don't control the strait. We don't know the casualty count. We know they're deliberately not telling us that. Tehran keeps coming out saying that they're not in negotiations. They say they're not in any type of negotiations. Trump saying that they're ready for a ceasefire. They already put out a list of demands. They put out a list of demands saying we can end it if you are willing to pay to repair everything, sign that you won't attack, and there was something else on there. It was a list of demands. It was almost like they won the war. It wasn't like they lost. They were saying, okay, we'll stop if you give us A, B, C, and D. And Trump is he's leaving. He says he's leaving. I hope he's telling the truth on that. What's up with you, man? What up? I hope he's telling the truth in this thing right now. But I want to know. I want to know what BB's gonna think about that, because America leaves. That pretty much leaves him and a few Arab states, Arab countries, going against Iran. So he's got to not be happy. But then again, like I said, he might not even be telling the truth. He might just be saying that to manipulate the stock market. He might just be saying that to get the American people, because gas is going up. People are paying, $9 in California. Denver's at $6, $5 It's becoming the norm, in addition to all the food prices. And he's probably saying we're going to end it to basically give people that impression that, okay, they're going to come on home, they're going to finish the job. But what job did they have to finish? He said he can leave, but the economy is still destroyed because we lose all those oil business accounts over there. Yeah, yeah, we do. We do. And what did they achieve? What did they achieve for the United States? All of this nuclear weapon stuff. What did they achieve for the United States? Pakistan has a nuclear weapon. India has a nuclear weapon. North Korea's got nuclear weapons. What did we achieve? And there's even some places where, I mean, Iran's going to go to the UN and they're going to petition the UN for war crimes. They're going to talk about how they had negotiators come and then Israel assassinated all those negotiators. There's certain rules where if it's in peace, you're not supposed to. It's supposed to be peace talks. Peace talks, both sides. There are no weapons, even though they're at conflict. But this notion that you can just go in there and mow somebody down. You know, we have to wait to see. You know, that's above all our pay grades. We got to wait and see how that plays out. That's going to be interesting. Now, they just shut down the ballroom. They shut the ballroom down. They shut down. I think somebody said they slowed down the money. Trump says he's ready to bring the troops back. So that's what he says. But he could just be saying from a strategical standpoint, I'm going to say it while I'm not. Because they got another carrier going out there. And they got more men going out there. So you do have to wonder what if he's telling the truth. What's up with you, bro? You got to wonder if this guy is telling the truth because he keeps saying something and doing something else. We don't know our dead. We don't know how many soldiers we've lost. We just don't know that. And we're getting this lecture that we're supposed to blindly support every decision Trump makes, and that that's just not going to fly over here. That's just not going to fly. He's making a lot of mistakes. And when you start getting those bodies back, let's see if you think that's okay. You know, the Kid Rocks and all of these people who blindly support Trump. Oh, why doesn't he join? Why doesn't he go overseas? Why doesn't he go and support the troops? Yeah, and we don't even know all the ramifications of what's going to happen when this stuff is over. We don't even know all of that. We got projections. Every expert said it was an absolute disaster. You shouldn't have. First of all, you didn't achieve anything, and then you went over there and you spent all that money. And Russia and China is providing them ammunition. And who's going to pay for all of that? Where's the money going to come from? They're going to raise the taxes? That's going to be something to have no new wars and higher taxes. How's Fox News going to spin that one? Yeah, he said he's leaving in the next couple of weeks, but we're over there months. We weren't supposed to be over there more than 10 days. He said after they got rid of the leadership, he felt they wanted to surrender, but they didn't. And people believe that he was egged on by BB. BB egged him on to stay there and did things to keep America there longer than they wanted to be. And that's why I don't think they're going to let him leave then. I don't know what Trump's saying it, but I can't see it. I can't see America leaving and there's no clear-cut ceasefire. They're still going back and forth at each other's countries. Let's not forget the ground component. It's supposed to be a ground component. And we're putting boots on the ground. We're sending special forces, 82nd Airborne. We're sending all the experts. Another aircraft carrier. It's on its way. More bombardments. It's been reported, I don't know if it's true, that they've been hitting civilian targets. But I mean, it just depends. I guess, we have to wait and see on all of that. So you notice the media is not hounding and following him around like they would be doing the Dems. It all goes back to normal government when the Dems get in power. Yeah. 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 But he's the one in charge. I hope he does. But I hope he actually brings the troops home, man. And if they hammer out a ceasefire 6 months from now, Israel and Iran, okay. Okay. But America's got to get out of there. America's got to get out of there. And it's gas that's breaking people's backs. Did anybody see the speech? He's supposed to be having a speech later on today or tonight or something. I don't know what time. And people were suggesting that he's going to announce the official that he's actually allowing ground troops. I guess he sent in the special forces earlier or over the last 2 or 3 days. There it is right here. It says, he said the war is close to an end. Said another 2 to 3 weeks, but said it's almost at an end. We're going to finish the job. Yeah. Rise in gas, diesel, fertilizer, aluminum, and other essentials with consequences that will continue to ripple through the economy for a long time to come. There's no clear plan to secure Iran's nuclear materials. Its ballistic missile capabilities remain a threat. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed. At the same time, the administration is easing oil sanctions in a way that is sending billions of dollars back to the very regime we are confronting. Yeah, yeah. Russia is participating in the deaths of Americans. They're taking the money they're getting off of all of the sanctions, and they're funding. They're sending weapons. You know, they're sending their old weapons. They're sending them over there, floating them over there. They put that Russian flag up. U.S. can't hit it. They can fly it. They can't inspect it. They can fly anything they want in there. Trump removed the Russian sanctions. Yeah. Yeah. They said the Iranian BB, I think it's been BB, but they said for the last 20 years they've been trying to drag the United States into a war with Iran. He's been saying that they're going to have a bomb. They're going to have a bomb. He was saying the same thing in 2010 that they're going to have a bomb. And finally, he found a guy, Trump, to go in. It took him a while, but he found it. He's talking about 3 or 4 days. I mean, I don't believe it. It's April 1st, right? So I think we'll be there to the end of this month. And what did we achieve? What did we accomplish? We spent all that money. We lost American lives. And what was our goal? We're not supposed to be mercenaries for Israel. What was our goal? Now, if anything, if we would have left things alone, the American citizen would be better off. We wouldn't be paying these high gas prices. We wouldn't have to pay the debt of all of that artillery that's been fired. We wouldn't have to go through any of this stuff, but now we got to go through that. Not to mention, and this is a personal thing, the possibility of war crimes, depending how this stuff plays out. Now, do I think that they're going to turn to, I don't know what they're going to do. You'd have to talk to them about that. I don't know what it has. That's on them. Yeah. And I don't think he's telling us the truth. I don't. I just don't think I think he's going to stay there longer than a couple of days. I think he's been saying that to try to calm the markets. It's already in the grocery stores. It's already out there. It's already all over. Oh, here we go. Here come the clowns. Here come the clowns, man. You guys have Joe Biden derangement syndrome, Obama derangement syndrome. That's all you guys talk about. That's all you talk about. I'm talking about bringing the troops home, man. We need to bring them home now. Not 2 weeks from now, not a month from now, now. Israeli has a defense force. Why don't they just put their people on the ground? You know how big Iran is. It's a humongous country. He knows how big it is. And the allies with the United States, they're not participating. They're not participating in the way that he needs them to. There we go. Say he's trying to calm the markets. Gas is going up. Yeah. Gas is going up. America needs to be home now. They need to be home for Easter. You got people that's going to be paying $8 a gallon to go to work, and they still got to take care of their family. And this is a war of choice. It's not like this had to happen. This was a war of convenience, and now the American people's got to absorb the cost. And I've seen the podcaster saying that me as an American, I should be happy to pay $2 more a gallon because I'm stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. They don't have a nuclear weapon. Pakistan has a nuclear weapon. India has one. North Korea has one. I don't understand why they think that those Pakistan and India somehow are reliable, stable. Where are you getting that from? I don't see the difference between Iran and those countries. If you have fear that if Iran gets it, it'll use it, they already have it. But I guess you got to have a reason. American people are paying $8 to $9 a gallon for gas. And they also putting their lives on the line defending Israel. I hope they're happy, man. I hope they're happy doing it because they're paying. They're paying. And they need to bring the troops home. That's worth more than money. That's worth way more than money. Yeah. And we still don't know. We don't know when we're going to come back. And I don't think it's as easy as said that. And I don't think BB is ready for Trump to leave. Yeah. He says, well, we started the war without a real cause, never consulted our allies. This fool, this ghoul is like the friend that begins craft and expects his friends to jump in. Yeah. 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 You can't do it. It don't work that way. That's why when they say peace talks and negotiations, people are sitting down and you have to, give people solid reasons. You can't tell somebody, I just want your country. Why? Because I just want it. But now it's, we're going to this situation where we need to come home. You said World War III started years ago. We just took lead. Oh, okay. We just took the lead. Well, he's already talked that, and people say that he keeps doing that. saying that it's over, we demolished them, it's over, to try to manipulate the markets, because based on that, the speculators are not going to assume it's going to affect the prices, but it's not working. But they've caught on. They caught on to that. They caught on. That's why you see the prices getting higher and higher, and they're really going to go through the roof. More crime. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Yeah, most Americans, period, don't want our troops to be in uh, wars of choice and wars of convenience. And American people don't want to foot the bill for that. This war is still going on as we speak. They're making a ton of money. A ton of money. A lot of money being exchanged. And I haven't seen one retired general, one military analyst, not one, who said that it's a good idea to go into Iran and try to take it over. And they said it's possible. Yeah, you could do it, but the problem is lives. You lose so many lives, that it becomes a bad idea. Yeah, their whole entire country's been built like that. They've been waiting on war. And I think Venezuela may have gave Trump an impression that that was war. And that the enemy won't fight you. And one of the main things is selling the war. You have to sell it. You have to sell the war to your people. You got to sell it to your troops. You got to sell it to the American people. You got to sell it. And that's how most people do it. They don't just do it and then try to sell it. They sell it, then they do it. The people know why you're going in. They know there's a clear goal. They know exactly why you're doing this. Making unsubstantiated claims about nuclear weapons when they don't have any. You're supposed to buy that? You're supposed to believe that? I got some USA shirts and hats. I got that. He said buy some MAGA merch. Now I don't. No, thank you on the MAGA merch. But you can wear it. You can wear. You're free to go get you some. But this ain't about MAGA, man. This is about our boys in a foreign land with their lives on the line. Let me tell you something, because somebody asked me about this. They said, you spoke on this. I said, yep. And they said, why do you keep bringing it up? Because I'll never stop speaking on it. Those men and women over there need our support, and they need our concern. So, yeah, I'm going to keep bringing it up. I'm not going to forget about the troops. And, yeah, it ain't a popular subject, and a lot of people don't care. They care one way or they don't care. That's why you see these clowns in the chat box keep talking about Trump. We're talking about the troops, the well-being of the troops over there. We need to bring those men home. What are we fighting for? What is the mission? What are we, mercenaries for Israel? No, they did not sign up to die. That's ridiculous. And that's flippant. These people are not down there. They're down there to defend the interest of America. They're not down there to die. Yeah, you don't really respect. You don't understand what a service member is. It's so many what you calls out. Well, I'm not even gonna go down there. You don't even understand what that is. A United States fighting man is there to defend the interests of America. He's not there to just give his life for somebody's war of choice or to defend Israel. That's not why he joined. That's not what he's there for. You guys are real flippant about the lives of the service people. That's crazy how you can be. I only say you can say that with a straight face. Yes. And they also signed up to be protected. They're not supposed to be sent on missions, that they can't return from. That goes by your experts, your informants, the people you have on the other side who give you information. That's all of that comes from that. And you say, we got this mission and we know over here, we're going to have ground cover over here. We know it. That's how you do a mission. You don't just do the mission. It has to be planned out. And the people have to be protected. They have to be fed. They have to be healed. They need fresh water. All of this they need. He said black men die every day. You know what? And those men are not in the service. But their lives matter, but that's a terrible comparison. And you're almost dismissing it, saying because black men lose their lives in the streets, that means it's okay for our soldiers to lose. And that's not the same. That's a bad comparison, bro. You know what? You coming real close to the dungeon. Yeah, you coming real close. Now you didn't say that's about the third thing that you said that's just flat out stupid. Here we go. Biden derangement syndrome. Biden derangement. He is talking about Biden again. He said the U.S. is hosting a global event, the World Cup, in the middle of the war. Yeah, Yeah, you'd think they'd have to. Well, I don't know about canceling the World Cup, but the U.S. might not want to even do that right now, not doing this. I'm sure he's been briefed on it, but yeah, you got to be careful now. You don't want to put your troops in harm's way. You don't want to send Americans over to the World Cup because of the possibility. Because of the possibility something could happen. And this is Trump's war. This is Trump's war. He chose to get involved in it. He made a decision to get involved in this war. He made a decision to do that. This is Trump's war. He did not have to do it. He chose to do it. He chose to cause this problem. And now people are suffering with the gas prices, the food prices, the uncertainty of a relative, of a family member. You don't know how they're holding up. You got to sit back and wait and wonder, how's it going, man? You have to. You have to just sit back and say, can we make it? And he said he's gonna, he said it'll be over quickly, and if they need to, they'll return. I'm for that. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Many troops, when you're a troop, you have to stand there and you got to wait, man. A lot of them on ships, they're waiting. Some of them are off the ships. Boots are already on the ground. They long to return home, and it's got nothing to do with we don't even know we have a mission, but it's got nothing to do. People look at it the wrong way. They would rather be in America. Who wants to just be in a war zone? Okay, let's go hang out in a war zone. Many of the troops, this is their first Easter. They're going to miss their first Easter. So you had a customer complain about the food prices. Yeah. Everything's going up. Even the food that you used to look at, is, you know what I'm saying? Food that was very, very affordable, it's going up. I saw a chuck roast. It was $35. It was, I don't know, it wasn't big, it wasn't very much. And I looked through it, all of them was 30 plus. And yeah, they were just sitting there because, people just don't have money like that. They're going to wind up either throwing them away or they're going to go bad because the customers, they're not going to buy it at that price. And we do have to wonder how much longer, Yeah, we got Easter coming up. A lot of families have always shared that moment with their families. I mean, that's a special moment. You're a 4-year, 5-year, 6-year-old kid, and you're going to Easter, and you understand what that means, and you might even, the church might even have a little Easter egg hunt, and you're young, it's your first time, and you look forward to these are moments you can never forget. But these moments now won't happen because we're over in Iran trying to fight when we've been advised not to do that. We've been told over and over again, don't go. So I'm in Paris right now. Everybody's freaking out over out. Everybody's freaked out right now about the food, gas prices. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see in another 2 months. Let's see what the prices are. Prices are soaring. All types of mistakes are being made. And we're not getting updates. And we don't know what to believe. We don't. I mean, if you listen to a foreign news source, Al Jazeera, if you sit back and you listen to a former news, how do you know they're telling the truth? How do you know? You don't know. So how do you know Americans are telling the truth? You don't know. And it's getting higher, man. Everything costs. The country's becoming something else, man. I remember the mall, man. I mean, being a little kid going to the mall. It was so impressive, man. It was so clean. It was chandeliers up, all the stores. It was just a wonderful experience, man. Just going into a mall, just how it was like going inside the refrigerator. The air conditioning was freezing. And went through the mall, and growing up, off and on, always went by the mall. The mall was close to the schools we attended, so you could always shoot by the mall. Wonderful experience, man. Just to imagine it right now. We don't even have those things. Those things are being shut down. You're talking about Amazon. People don't even experience, or they're not even going to be able to experience that now. Yeah, and if your mall has a dollar store or something like $1 or less, or Walgreens, if it has some type of a Boost Mobile shop, if it's got that strip mall stuff in it, you don't have a mall. The fake, that cheap gold, that 10K Ahab gold chains, that's a part of the mall. I like to see that. I don't want to buy it, but I like to see that with the shades and the colognes. He said we ain't in the 80s or 90s anymore. I don't know what that means. What's that supposed to be? We're not in the 80s and 90s anymore. Well, you're right about that. Yeah, they're not supposed to. You're supposed to send the remains back. You're not supposed to bury any of them over in a foreign land unless you're on some type of special ops and you way out and it's just impossible to bring that individual back. But you bring aspects of the individual, and then you also make a location where you know exactly where the person is. Eventually, It may not happen that week. It might happen 5 years later. People will go to wherever that person was put to rest, and they'll get those bones, and they'll bring that person back, and they'll return that person to their next of kin. They're not supposed to let them. You're not supposed to. You can lose your life over there, but you ain't supposed to bury. You're not supposed to. And if there's any way for them to retrieve the bodies, they'll retrieve the bodies. Yeah, but that's the thing, though, Alfonso. We're supposed to know about it. Y'all worried about something y'all don't know anything about. We're supposed to know something about it, though, brother. Don't you get that part? We're not supposed to sit here and not know what's going on. We're supposed to know what's going on. We're supposed to be being informed. All of the doubt and uncertainty is supposed to be erased because we're gradually informed about what's going on. But we don't know. And like I said, you go to the foreign sources or you go on social media, you don't know. How do you know that's real? How do you know? You don't know. Gasoline's going to be about $7-8. I don't know how they're going to spend this one. They already tried to say you should be happy paying an extra couple of bucks for defending Israel and getting the nuclear weapon out of the Iranians. So just because you got to pay an extra $3 a gallon, you should be happy. I don't know how if that's working or not. No, that might not be. People might not be feeling that. Yeah, Trump doesn't want to be briefed. He's already said that. Yeah, 80-plus-year-old president. Yeah, this country's changing, man. Yep, 2 billion a day for Israel, and everybody in the chat. We know BB's not going to let him leave. Now he can say what he wants to say. He can say anything he wants to say at his press conference. BB's not going to let him go. If he leaves, it's going to be a ceasefire in stone that BB approves of. That'll be on, and they probably gonna still. BB's probably gonna make them still leave some type of troops there. He's probably still gonna leave a few troops on the ground, and it's gonna be by request. But Trump says we're leaving. Do you believe him? Like the stream, man. I'm gonna drop the link, man. I've been getting real sleepy, man, lately. We'll take your thoughts, take your conversation. Yeah, he lies all the time. Yep, it's hard to believe. That's the problem. He that's why when somebody is, if you know someone doesn't tell the truth, it's hard to believe that person. And a lot of people who have relatives and family members in the military, they don't know what's going on with their kid. They're sitting back right now and they don't know what's going on with their kid. They need some help. What's up with you, K-Rax? Yeah, no potty mouth. All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna work on it this stream. But nah, that this once I saw earlier that he was gonna make an announcement or something, I was like, bro, we staying there. We staying there for about 2 or 3 more months. So like we could, so everything could just get worse, bro. Like it ain't like it's weird, Plat, because it's like on one side you supposed to have hope, but then on the other it's like we can't even trust like our current our current president. Like it's it don't make no sense. Like we just I don't know. Like if I'm being honest, Plat, like I would rather him come out and just tell the truth instead of
He
just
can't. He can't.
repeatedly lying.
He believes that if he tells the truth, he would be projecting himself to the enemy. That's what he believes. But you still can tell. You can inform America what's going on. You don't have to be specific. And if there's a special mission, you don't have to bring that up. But you can let them know, the troops are being taken care of. Every measure is being nothing is being spared for the protection of the troops, and they're not doing that. And then when you go to Al Jazeera and you look at that stuff, you don't know if it's true or not. You don't know
But
if it's true. You don't know if the American stuff's true. You don't know if their stuff's true.
that's true. Like it's so much misinformation. It's so much just stuff being said. People not knowing what they really talking about. Like people not knowing their history. Like it's just all types of just everything going on. But my whole thing is this: you should feel some type of way. I mean, you should feel some type of way about this regardless. But the people that just try to shove it away and act like it don't exist, it's gonna come back to bite you. You can try to act like it's not happening and try to just continue to live your life. And I'm not sitting here saying you should be like stressing every minute of the day over it either. But at the same time, this is an important situation. Like lives are on the line. People like our troops are important because if we don't have our troops, then who gonna be fighting? That's what I'm curious about. To all the people that think that don't look at our troops as
Did you
like
hear that guy?
soldiers. Like you
Did
gotta
you hear that guy? Did you hear that guy who was in here earlier who said that because blacks get killed, it's okay for our troops to get killed?
Yeah, man. That see, and that's sad. That's sad. We've come to that point where it's like, okay, we die. We delete. They delete each other. We delete each other so often. It's like, okay, that's normal. Like that, and it's not supposed to be like that. I like it. I don't. I'm the type of person, Plat. Like it don't matter how desensitized we are to like death or how desensitized we are to that type of stuff like violence in general. And it's like people just don't even have courtesy anymore. Like people just care about themselves, bro, and that's an issue. That's
Mm-hmm.
an issue because you are not the only person that matters on this earth. You not you like I don't even like saying it like this, but you pass away today, bro. Life, the earth gonna keep spinning, bro. Like that, all this selfishness got stopped. Like when you look at stuff like this situation right here, everybody really should be concerned, at least a little bit. If you not like because it involves if you live in the United States, it involves you. I don't care what nobody says. It That's the truth. If you live here, it involves you. So you, and especially if you know a service member, bro. Like I'm talking about, I know people who served after high school, bro. I'm talking about people who served. I know, and see this is the sad life. I mean, this is the sad truth of some of the service members' lives. Like I used to, I used I met this one dude. He served. I don't know if he was in the Navy. I can't remember which he was in, but he was a cool dude. He had kids. You feel me? Like, but that military life, like, it affected him. No, he was deaf in one ear. Like, he had certain incapability. Like, he was incapable of doing certain things. And I mean, he was good for the most part, but still, he still had certain effects from his time serving. And not too long ago, he was a real cool dude. Like I respected him. Like he did a lot of servicemen. I mean, I'm not a lot, but most of them I can respect because of what they do. If not all of them, like that, you have to at least have that respect. Because a lot of people just talking is not going to sit here and join willingly. You not going to serve willingly. I don't care. A lot of street niggas not even, excuse my language, but they not even gonna serve willingly. You get what I'm saying? So
But
like,
they don't want everybody. They don't
nah, I
want
get it. I get it, play. It's just, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. We just, it's sad, man. Like I gotta, like, I had a old friend text me a couple weeks ago telling me that that service member passed away. It's like it's but he passed away because of uh I think it was something with his liver, but he used to drink, and that's how his life, that's a depiction on how he felt after
Yeah.
his during
Uh, Alcoholism. A lot of them do. They
like,
they fall into that. They fall into drugs. They're more susceptible. Depression.
yep.
Um, it's not easy. People assume that somehow serving in the military is like easy, but it's not as easy as you think it is. Especially now. Now, like I said, in Easter, we're about to come up on an Easter Sunday, and we got all of these service people that's over in a foreign country. Not only that, they're under threat. They're at a raised alert rate, and they're going to spend an Easter in a foreign country. For many of them, they've always been with their wives, their kids, their families, and now they're separated. And this is one of the sacrifices that you never really understand or hear about. But this is a part of being in the service. These Easters, these Christmases, these Thanksgivings, they go by. And if you someone who you're close to your family, or you attend them with people in your family, you don't you years go by and you're not there. And as your cousins and nephews and your kids, they grow up without you.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, you return, but it's not the same. And that's a price that's never talked about, and it's a price that can't be paid back. And like you said, he had a friend, he got out the service, he got into drinking heavily, depression, um probably didn't have a purpose, or didn't figure that he fit in society. A lot of them don't. They don't feel like they fit. And see, when you start taking basic foundations from people, the footing, birthdays, relatives, close contact with relatives, family, our traditions, you start removing that, and that person goes a year or two without any of that. Not all people, it's not going to affect everybody, but it affects some of them.
I feel like if you just the typical, if you just, I say, if you just a normal dude, you you love your family, you a family man. Like I feel like it's like that. If you take that away from someone who's not just a like a genuine, just, I'm trying to watch my language, but if you not just like a completely just conceited person and selfish person, like you you realize I feel like you should realize certain things when it comes to just as a whole. Like you can't be selfish and say you do this or you do that. At the end of the day, the world gonna go on without you. So it's like I can't stand all the people who just acting like this or just playing games with it. Like you said, like you've been saying, like these Call of Duty ninjas, like thinking like this is just like we in a real video game. This is not a game. If some imagine, and I think people just really don't think like I really think that some people are just genuinely just something wrong with them. Something's just wrong with like a certain group of people, because it's no way you can look at this right here and not feel anything for the troops, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Lives, like I said earlier, lives are on the line. You can't, and life is not something we just, it's like it's not a game. That is the thing. This is not, we not playing Mario, we not playing Call of Duty, we not playing GTA. We can't come back. And that's what people don't understand. That's what a lot of people don't understand. That's, and the sad thing is a lot of people, it take for that moment, for when right before they about to like go or pass away, and then they realize like maybe like how, like maybe this wasn't what I wanted. Like people really be mental, like that's why you got mental health too. Like a lot of those soldiers got messed up, like we was just talking about, got messed up heads. Like a lot of when you think about it, from like what I'm about to say right here is really gonna say it. You got people that then lived in the suburbs their whole life, don't even know what war really is, like never even heard a gunshot. You feel me? And then you got soldiers really out there shooting, like this is real. Like I said, this is not a game, and that's what people don't understand. Just because it's not happening to you, don't mean it's not a game.
Yeah,
Like, like
and it's disrespectful, and it's dismissive. And our troops need us now.
exactly.
They need us now. They need us to care about them every day. They're there. Understand why they're there, and eventually we're going to get an opportunity where you can reach out if you know them. I mean, reach out to people you know, but there are going to be opportunities where you can contact just a random service uh, member over there and just send them a hey. Uh, we're praying for you, and we hope you take care of yourself. But we appreciate your sacrifice, and I mean, it'll be probably what they approve, but you can send them a little something. I'm not saying nothing big, and I'm not saying no money. I'm talking about some bottled water or something like that, or some cookies or something. And and a lot of them, you'd be surprised. A lot of them are there, and they're not getting mail, and that would be enough to pick their spirits up. Maybe that'll make them go another month or go another 2 months. It's the little things that matter.
No, that's right. I mean, we just, everybody just has to just gotta show love to the troops, man. I can't like, cause like if they wasn't fighting, we would be fighting. Like you feel me? Like you can't, and Platt, you respect to you, like you serve, so you feel me? Like it, like it's, and that I just, it shouldn't be at this point in time. Like the focus really should be getting them back. Like there's, I don't know what the goal is at the end of the day, but like it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. And like you said, it's plenty of people that have been talking about this topic and saying it's not work. This is like, okay, when the year, and mind you, we just getting to April. It ain't even been a full half. We haven't even hit the halfway mark yet. So we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad, man. But war, war is something that's necessary when it's needed. You're not supposed to use the military um, like mercenaries and just say, "Hey, let's go and do this right here to this country." And they're saying they're hitting hospitals and schools. I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true, man. There are targets, and then there are civilians. And just like you have civilians, you have a target, and you have a civilian. So it's both sides.
Yeah, it's innocent. That's another thing. It's innocent people getting hurt at the end of the day. Like that should never. I will never. I don't care what type of situation. I will never. I will never be for something that hurts innocent people. Like you, because at that point, when are we just like when it's that's just loot. Like I feel like some people don't even have like humanity, bro. Like it's like it's just inhumane the stuff that's going on. Like I don't even. It's like you can't even begin to question it because you're gonna have 50 other questions after trying to figure this out. Like it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
It
Like
is.
it's something. It's something. It's I don't know.
Yeah, and it's on the other side of the world. They're not a threat to us. This whole notion, if they got a weapon, they'd send it here. How are they going to send it here?
That's what I'm saying. Like it.
The whole thing about it is second strike. Um, who would let go of a nuclear weapon from an offensive standpoint, knowing that their country would be destroyed if they did it? They wouldn't have a country to go back to. Iran, why would they do something like that? They would destroy the country. And Trump's talking about a nuclear weapon over there. This is ridiculous, man. This is absolutely ridiculous. And he said, well, we bombed them into the Stone Ages. Well, is that a good thing? Because we're talking about illegal immigration. And if you bomb them so bad, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to wind up flooding another country.
It's like it's just war for the sake of war, and like it's like two people got together. It was like let's just watch explosions. It like it and like you. That's the thing. They do not care. That is the whole thing. They do not care. Like, and it's a reality that a lot of people need to wake up to. Like, we are not under a system that is out. And then that's what this shows us. This is not. We are not in the system that is out for our best interest. At the end of the day, so it's
Well,
like I mean I don't know, man, but we live here, bro. Like as presidents of this country, like I feel like everybody should be saying something, or at least feel some type of way about it.
they have a feeling about it. They have a feeling about it. It's going to be a strong feeling because, yeah, the oil prices are annoying
Yep.
and they're going to get to a lot of people. But when those bodies start coming home,
Mm-hmm.
people have to look at the world from a different perspective.
It's unfortunate though. It's really unfortunate. Like I do, man. dude, when I was talking about earlier, had a customer complain. This nigga, I mean, this dude started speaking Jamaican, bro. He was so pissed. He talking about I'm sitting there, we sitting there just having a conversation, and he tell me, he like, have you seen the prices of everything? I'm like, yeah, man, like it's crazy. This nigga, like, he start going off, like he talking about, y'all, the white man is in control. I'm like, look, I understand you bad, bro, but yeah, I like, you gotta calm down. I get it, but nah, he was. I mean, for real though, I understand him. Like, every time you turn around, something getting higher, and then it's like gas. Everybody drives, so like that's going to affect everybody. The gas price. That's what everybody been talking about. Like gas being up to $8. Like gas, and it's just going to keep going up. It's just going to keep going up, and it's like, and what people forget, oil is not. Oil is a very, what they call it, it's non-renewable, bro. You can't get, once we use all the earth's oil, bro, it's done. So it's like we attacking, like we attacking everything in our right. That's going and people not going to realize till it happen. Like, that's really going to affect us. That's really going to affect us.
Well,
And
we're
not
on
just
our way, man. We're getting away from fossil fuels. Oil is okay, but we have quite a bit of it, though. I mean, it's a lot of it. And they said that the reason people think it's not as much oil as it is water on this planet is because they make money off the oil. So they project it to be, in a sense, of a finite energy source that possibly we could burn through. I don't think so. Not anytime soon. I'm not. We're talking about maybe 5,000 years. And by that time we'll be doing something else. Won't be needing oil. Well, by that time we'll be able to find oil in other places.
we're gonna be on like some Jetsons, dude. It's gonna be a completely different
I don't
world.
know about that advanced, but we'll be advanced, just like we are with computers. We used to talk to people in 1826. They want to, say, what you got, a computer. What is that? You can do what with that? Your phone can do what? So that's what I'm saying. The civilization advances. So I wouldn't just be holding on oil. That's why a lot of people want to get away from the oil. These hybrid cars, not the electrical car. Well, you can get the electrical, but you got to fuel
You
it
got
up.
to charge it.
The hybrids, they fuel themselves. And what I mean by this is, you take the fuel, charges the battery, and then they switch to the battery. You can opt to go one way or the other, but I'm saying, by the fuel charging the battery, the fuel that it goes off the fuel, then it's off the battery. You'd be surprised how far you can go with a hybrid.
Yeah,
So and it don't use that much fuel.
it don't. It don't though. You're right. Cause I seen, I don't even remember what it was, but it was all black, and that hybrid, that hybrid, it actually looked pretty nice. I'm now, it got me remembering, but nah, I think, but see, it would take, because I thought about actually looking into an electric car. Then I seen, like, all you really had to do, and and then at the end of the day, these newer model cars, like a lot of the newer model cars are just, you gonna have issues with them regardless because of the technology we're using. So I don't. I thought about electric cars, but
I got you. Says, don't believe Trump. He doesn't tell the truth. People are upset. We're gonna have the troops. They're gonna miss Easter Sunday. And I wonder if Trump's going to feel that. I think he will. I think he will going to feel that we got American service people overseas doing Easter, and they would rather be home with their families. And this is a war of choice. This isn't a war we needed to be in. This is a war of convenience, and it's Trump's war. It's Trump's war. And I wonder how he feels about it. And we start getting that wave of American flag draped coffins, man, that should make him think about go ahead and ending this thing and bringing the people back home where they belong, because they don't belong over there. Let Netanyahu fight his war. And I seen that the podcaster saying that how they can't believe that Americans are saying they don't want America over there. This is ridiculous, man.
Wait, who said that?
A bunch of them. A lot of the neocons, they really think that you should want to go over there and defend Israel. Like that should be something that you're thirsting to do.
I don't know who the hell. Yeah, that's
a whole bunch of them think. Ben Shapiro thinks that.
No, Bishop doesn't.
Mark Levine, he thinks that. A lot of them think that.
They just kissing ass, bro. Oh, excuse my language. But yeah, bro. They not. If you really know what's up, bro, you're not supposed to be.
Mike Huckabee thinks that. Mike Huckabee said that from watching the polls and what he sees going on, he's the ambassador to Israel. He says that American kids need to be programmed. He said just like a computer, they need to be reprogrammed, because right now, the way they think, they're not thinking the way we need them to think. We need to program them to be willing to come in, put their life on the line for Israel, defend their interests, just like you defend American interests almost in the same way. And that's what he said, man.
Crazy times we in. That's ridiculous, man.
What's up with you, DeBoer?
Man, just falling back, listening to homie speak. Enjoying the stream. Man, let me say, as far as like, I mean, you kind of know my views on the like going to war when it comes to people. So when I had the opportunity to go, like in, I guess, high school, when the military had a presence at our school out in Houston, like they had a lot of, let's say, poor kids there, right? But when I was in Lafayette, I went to Lafayette High School, which was not one of the poor schools, right? They didn't have military presence there like that. Like every day you see all branches, they trying to get at students. Those students had something going on. Their parents had something going on. Not saying we didn't have people that was a certain way, but it was predominantly white as far as who graduated. Everybody had something going on, bro. I kid you not. When they party, the parties was different than what I've ever seen compared to where I came from, right? I didn't grow up in no hood. I'm saying that to say is that when they send people over there, the dude was talking about earlier about how they don't come back mentally together or whatever. Bro, they never went there mentally together. It's a very few of them that go there and they're mentally straight because their life was good.
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah, no.
Hold up, man. Hold up. I know that's not, but I get what you're saying.
I say all of them.
No. I wish you would just express it in a different way. You have to get in, brother. You have to have your marbles, all your marbles to get in. They don't just let anybody in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't talking AB kids. People can be sane and still drive a car. Be crazy and still drive a car.
Well, they're not. Though you're saying that. It's like saying, but that's like saying in America, everybody. You're saying most of the people in here in America is off. That's basically what you're saying. Not everybody, and you have to be able to survive their indoctrination to be in there. They're looking for that stuff. They're looking for people who have those types of problems. And then
you
those
talking about the
people are,
mental problems?
yeah, people who can't handle stress, all of that. Then they process those people out. They never really come in. They send them back home.
Mm.
Yeah, because they'll probably start issue. They'll probably have issues with the other service members.
There you go. You gotta be a teammate. You gotta get along.
And then uh the thing and then the thing with that is like like Platt said, they do have to have some bit of mental capacity to at least, maybe not now, but at least back when like the 70s, you couldn't just, or even past then, like you couldn't just get in and you just act in any type of like that. It's not like the streets where you prove you the hardest and you do the wildest thing. Like it's not like that. Like
Yeah, it's nothing like the streets, and it's a process, and you have to go through it. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people who don't make it through.
yeah, for real. I know some that didn't, and they
Yeah.
was bad as hell. Like
I know 2 girls tried to join the Marines, and they washed out. And before they tried, they talked about it for about 6 months, and they were trying to work out. And they even had the recruiter. Recruiter was coming out, taking them out on the weekends, trying to tell them they wanted to be Marines. Both of them wanted to be Marines.
yeah,
And he was running them up hills and telling them, he was still in, and he was a recruiter, and he was letting them know. And then they went in, and and then both of them washed out of boot camp. They couldn't make it through a Marine boot camp. It was just too much for them. I don't know. I think one of them work at like City Trends or something like that.
damn.
You think that most people can't hold their composure for a long period of time until they broken?
Well, go ahead. Make because I the way you said that it's
Yeah, that yeah, that guy.
I know.
it
It be sounding crazy.
normally when you
my
lose your
perspective on it.
you lose your composure when you're broken. So, but no, I see what you're saying. No, listen, let me say something to you, Tabor, because you're a truck driver,
I'm
and
listening.
you're a truck driver. A lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people go out on that road and then looking out that window and that long road, and then pulling into those truck stops and those small towns.
Being alone.
Yep, being alone, watching that sunset,
Yeah.
and going into communities, and they see the way they were when they were a kid. And there's a guy with his friends, and there's some girls, and you're in a whole different world now because you're a truck driver now, and you had to leave where you're from, and that causes a lot of people. I know driving truck, it become an alcoholic's bad idea, but I'm saying that causes people to get into things because of the way they're living. That causes them to get into things they wouldn't normally get into because it's not easy to do that job. And you got to always have your attention up too, because you got to know what's behind you.
Yep.
You got to know how to make your turn. You got to really pay attention, because if you go too far, you can't make your turn. And then how you going to get people to back up? You trying to get them to back up. That don't mean they're going to back up.
And then if you want like mountains, like
Yeah. I'm driving through New York, like right above New York City, going into like Connecticut. Right now I gotta go to Massachusetts. So everything y'all saying, and you're right, there are people like that. And I know people like that. They got in the game, they quit, they didn't want to do it, they don't like being gone a long time. But me personally, I used to get locked in closets as a kid. I'm used to being alone.
Yeah, well, we don't. You know what, Tabor? With certain things, you need to talk to your counselor.
What make you think I need a counselor?
No, we're in no position to comment on something like that, man. I mean, I don't even know. No, I get you. Look, we respect your honesty, Tabor, but we don't need to know that much about anybody like that. Unfortunately, for me, sounds like you got traumatized as a kid. That's unfortunate.
That has nothing to do with my mental capacity.
You sure?
I only say that to set up the situation. Which I'm fine with what you said. I'm not tripping on it. I only say that.
Another thing, so boy, let me tell you something. You don't want to put your business out on the internet. I mean, it's like these YouTube channels, social media. You'll be surprised who watches, and they might hit you with it 3 years from now. I know how these people are here. Anything that's private, and you probably don't care that people know, but in the future, anything that's private and personal, keep it to yourself. It ain't meant for the internet.
Yeah, I get that, right? And I'm fine with you saying it, right? As far as mentally goes, I mean, I still got kids. I'm still not out here crashing out. I could be worse than what I am, but I'm not.
Okay.
It could have been worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to deal with people every day. Like you said, I got to be attentive while I'm driving. If it's the rain, if it's the snow, if it's a dust storm, I got to know what to do. If somebody driving crazy, I gotta be able to make sure I don't hit something. Right?
Yep.
I do it all the time. When I first started, go ahead.
No, and that's taxing, Tabor. Like, we don't look at being focused as something that tires you, just like picking up something. But being focused the way a truck driver has to be focused, that makes you tired, man.
No, you do have to have a level of focus, because I know a lot of truck drivers. Yeah, you get, especially, and then especially being realistic, like, especially if you are like just a person of color. Like, I would definitely be careful, because I done heard some stories about them, like them small town. Like, it depends on where you all at, but like, let's say you in Mississippi somewhere, or you in like somewhere out Georgia. Like, nah,
Alabama, North Carolina,
yeah.
South Carolina, the South.
But not even just the country though. Like, it even in like Illinois and like Indiana, it's some places like that. So you really gotta be careful, because some people just think it's like, oh, it's just the South. Nah, you gotta be careful all around. Like,
And
you gotta,
that's a matter of being socially aware and knowing where you at. So I can be out in Georgia and I would know better than to be in some small town thinking I'm gonna sleep. That's not happening.
exactly.
I'm gonna keep driving. But the reason why I say that is because mentally, I know when cats got home, I used to do intake at the shelter in Houston, Texas for Star Hope. I know what them boys be like on some. I shouldn't have never went. They don't be having family like that. You can send them. They be stuck over there. I mean, some of them, I ain't gonna say they glad to be stuck over there, but some of them ain't got nothing to go home to. They life been bad the whole time. They wasn't mentally there, but they had to stay sane to get in. I had homeboys like that, because when they came back,
they gotta stay.
When he put it like that.
You say what?
They gotta stay sane the whole time they in there.
Some of them.
Hey man, that's the way our society. Wait a minute, that's the way our society is, though. If being a grown adult and having to function in this society, whether it's being a truck driver, going to the military, a police officer, fireman, fireman, that's a very hard job. Very hard job. You have to see a lot. You have to see a lot of death, and you still have to go into you still got to go into those houses. You can't just say, well, I ain't going in there. You got to go in there. People say, people standing right there, the person standing right next to the person, and they're screaming, my son's still in there. My son's still in there. And then they look down, and there he is right there, and they done sent the fireman into that place. So I mean, that's a hard job. People do that, and they could tell you about people burnt into a sofa and stuff. They see that stuff. They
Yeah,
see unfortunately, they see the children when bad things happen from that, and they have to go home to their family, and they have to wake up and go back to work, and they have to go and deal with that. But I'm just saying the way our society is set up, if you can't handle that you will wind up in a shelter. Because then the society's saying, okay, well, there's no use for you. You can't take care of yourself. So they'll put you in a shelter. And then they'll let you live that life.
that is not the life you want to live.
You can crash out from a regular job when people have enough or had enough, they'll have enough. I know a chick right now currently that works for 911 dispatch in Houston, and the stories that I hear from her, it's completely wild. I don't even know how she do it or why. Well, I know why. It's always the money. It's the money. They pay good, right? They considered first responder or something like that,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
what I'm saying about the military and like the dude was saying earlier, like, man, when people don't have no other choice, then it's like you can say nobody
They don't,
rocking
they
with,
don't, yeah,
go ahead.
they don't have to join the military.
They don't have to join.
Yeah.
Nobody has
You,
to
you don't
join.
you don't have to be a police officer. You don't have to be a paratrooper. You don't have to do you can do a field that makes you comfortable and safe. Find you a field where you're just, be an accountant. You're inside, you're just working with numbers. Just be an accountant. Because you said other stuff ain't for you.
Everything's scalable. Everybody has a choice. Like, I know what you was talking about earlier about not going in blind or following him blind. Them boys got to follow Trump blindly.
Well,
They
who
don't.
does? Wait a minute, who has to follow him blind?
Anybody military.
Not
You don't
really. I
really know
mean,
what's
no,
going on.
you have a duty. You have a duty if it's a lawful order. But no, you ain't supposed to be in there protest. You ain't supposed to go to Iran and walk around with a protest sign. You ain't supposed to do that. You got to do your job. But you just because you're in the military, you don't have to vote for Trump.
I ain't saying vote. I'm talking about just following them blind. I mean, they can give an order that ain't
Well,
true.
the orders are
I
coming
can't not
from
say ain't true.
your command. They're coming from your command, though. It's not going to be. I mean, I don't know why your command would do that, but you're not going to know if Trump, if it's his orders or the commander's orders.
But how much do he really know besides the orders he's given?
That's all he needs to know, what he's been told.
And everybody that's under them got to follow.
Well, if you don't like that, don't join the military.
That's all
But
I'm
you
saying,
still
man.
look. Let me tell you something. Over there, right in Iran, you got sand over there. It gets into your clothes or your shoes. Eventually, it gets into everything. Do you know you still got to maintain a uniform? Do you know you still got to muster and line up and do your job that they ask you to do? You can't say I can't do it because of this sand. You can't say, hey, I joined to be in ideal conditions. I didn't join to be on the ship. I didn't join to go to Iran. You can't really say that. You have to go and do your job. And it is unfair, but that's military service. That's the service you got to get. That's the service you signed up for. Now, these people talking about putting your life on the line. Now, I don't think you can't, you technically you really can't do that, but that job has its own difficulties, right? Me and you can join today, Tabor. They can send you during this war. They can send you to Hawaii. And I say, Tabor, what you doing? I'm headed to Iran, Tabor. What you doing? I'm in Hawaii, man. They told me they just want me to every 3 days come by the command for a briefing, but mostly they just want me to be around Waikiki Beach, and just making sure that any Americans need help. That's all they need me to do. And I don't even have to wear the uniform. That's what I'm saying. You just got a different station. We're both getting paid the same. We're both doing the job, but you just got stationed somewhere that you don't have to do that. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people get stationed somewhere like a war zone, And you're right, that it's not they can't do the service, it's that they can't do it under those conditions. But you don't have that option. You still got to do it. Nope, you still got to do what they tell you to do, even in conditions of war.
Which all makes sense to me, because Buddy was talking about, hey man, what's your name? I keep calling you Buddy or something.
K-Ray.
You said Ted?
No, K-Ray.
Okay, right. Because you was talking about people being inhumane, right? And then like just by how we was talking, and some of the situations we be in, it be like people don't care like that. So even though we could care about each other as
But
humans, people just don't care like that.
But we used to, though. That's the thing.
Well,
When?
we do. Well, we do. It's those land units. They gotta care about. They don't have a choice. They're gonna care about each other. See, it's one thing. Like I said, all this talk radio and all of this stuff. When you go over there and you're together, and you have to watch each other's back, you're gonna care about your fellow man. They gotta have a watch. They got to do their duties, and then somebody got to go and sit watch. So you might have to work. You might have to work from 8 to 6, and then after that, they need you to muster at 8 on the edge, doing watch, and you can't fall asleep.
Nope.
I mean, it sounds like them doing a job, them caring about each other to a degree is by default.
Okay, but they're caring about each other.
You have to. It's like, think about a game of football, a game of basketball. Y'all trying to win. This is not your objective is not to lose. That's basically like, except the difference being is
I be trying to have hope for people, man, but they don't be like that for me. This shit don't be like that for me, bro. I hear what y'all saying though.
No, you need to war. You got to well, you got to do it, man. You got to find the things that's necessary for you to try to get your life in a way that you're not cynical.
It sound like I'm cynical.
Yeah, about the possibilities of things working in a way that, like you can care about someone and the person cares about you too. I get all of that, and I get where you're going, but it's your assignment. You got to go out there and get all that on your own. People lie all the time, but there are people out there that will give you the things that you're looking for. Just got to deal with a lot of them.
That's true.
But I get it though, man. You're right. If you're in certain circles and environments, you can't come away thinking nobody cares about nobody. You can.
I'm just like I'm with it. Like I told you, I'm on both sides of it. I can understand both sides of why somebody would go, of why somebody would be a certain way when they get home. On the mental side, they get broke. I wouldn't believe that they were all together mentally. So it was just a situation that broke them, and they spaz out, and then other people is a casualty of their mental state.
Oh, well, they have all of that. They have a process on that. So if you snap, they'll subdue you. They'll probably put you in. Yes, they'll put you in restraints, and then they'll send you back. They'll medevac you out of there. They got helicopter. They have all that stuff is taken care of, because you really are no benefit to your squad if you've lost your sensibilities.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you might have seen some stuff on TV. That's TV.
Oh man, I ain't thought about TV. I mean, my dad was Air Force, so he told me the stories about during the war how he had to go pick up bodies.
If that's what your duty is, you can get there thinking you're going to be artillery, and because of a shortage, next thing you know, you're doing something completely different. Yeah. And you got to do your time, man. It's almost like jail. You gotta do your time. And like I said, you can stay on that ship. On that ship that's sitting over there, that ship might sit offshore for a month, and you with 80 plus men. You sharing a space with them. You got, and you got to go through all of this. Some of them are gonna break down. Some of them gonna snap. Some of them they'll take care of them. But you got to maintain, man. You got to maintain.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You gotta keep pushing through for real.
Yeah,
And that's
me being by myself is easily maintainable. It's when I gotta deal with other people. Is when things get said or uncomfortable conversations are had. And just like tonight, I guess I'll be saying, well, which I already know, I can say something wild that most people wouldn't even get.
Yeah, don't
What
do
I'm
that.
saying about it.
Yeah, don't say something like that, man. But yeah, you gotta do your job, man. And if you're in Iran and you get scared and you don't follow rules, you're gonna be prosecuted just like you. Yeah, you broke the rules. And your friend that's in Hawaii, that's just doing nothing but hanging out on Waikiki, and they got a little uniform that's authorized. It's not even a military. He's just out there in like a short set and just hanging out and stuff.
Chilling.
Yeah, when he
Oh, it
gets
sounds
out,
like chilling.
he gets out. He's got 4 evals. He did perfect. He gets out, and he never was no stress was put on him. But then you say, hey, man, I was in a war zone. I was in a war zone. But then your discharge is messed up, and yeah, it's
I
just the
would
way it
think
is.
most people would think that's how it's gonna be until something like this happens.
No, it's even like what I'm trying to tell you. Even if you're in a war zone, you still got to do your job. A lot of these people in this chat, they got Obama derangement syndrome, bro.
Obama.
They do, just like Trump. Trump's got Obama derangement syndrome. He's still talking about Obama. Obama hadn't been president in what, 10 years?
10 years. 10 years, bro. 10 whole years, bro. And we for some reason, I don't know. I don't even want to think about that, bro. Cause that day, that genuinely like that genuinely made me bad, bro. I was like, what's the reason though? Like we just being childish, bro. Like that, like I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Cause but that was wild. Like that was crazy, Clint. I woke up. That's the thing. That was like the first thing I seen in the morning too. I wake up, you feel me? Do my morning routine. Look on my phone. And then we see monkeys, bro. Like that's ridiculous. Like that's ridiculous, bro.
But the thing about it, you don't have to join the military, And I mean, you got to figure out all that stuff. You need to figure out when you're like 14, 15, what your plans are for your future.
No, for real. Cause life's
And it
gonna
helps
come
to have
quick.
people around you that talk sense to you.
For real.
Because it's all fun and games when you 12,
You got to
13,
wake up,
14.
but you can't go by that. You got to just deal with the fact that the people, your family or the people that's the adults in your life don't have a grip in a way that they can give you direction. So you have to accept that they're the adults, but you don't have to. You can seek information from other people to try to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, but that don't be clicking to most people, man. That sounds logical, but most people ain't logical like that.
But you can't. But Tabor, you don't really have a choice. What are you gonna do? I'm
I
saying
mean,
the average guy. What is he gonna do? Okay, both his parents was on drugs. They wasn't in the house. He raised himself basically from 13 to 18. He raised himself. Okay, now what is he going to do? Now he's 18. Okay, what are you going to do?
I mean, I get it.
Hold on. You going to sit around and make excuses talking about your parents or how you've been growing up? Or are you going to say, hey, I got to make some better decisions in my life? Okay, that's their life. This is my life. How do I want to live my life? And you got people who join the military from that same type of situation. They do a solid 25 years, get out, have a family, and be productive. And they use the 6 years of neglect. That was the motivation to keep them saying, hey, I'll go on the ship. I just want to be a part of this because this is better than the way I grew up. Whatever rules they have, I'll follow every rule they got. I'll get promoted, and I'll keep my nose clean. And and then in 25 years they retire. And they can show you where they grew up. They can show you the house, how raggedy it was, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I already know. Like I said, man, that's where I be coming from and why most people be the entered it, you know what I'm saying? And even though like the dude was talking about being inhumane, like most people really don't be caring like that. They only care about what's going on around them, and even then, they don't even care about what's going on around them. Like let's say the dude that you talking about, or whoever you talking about, right? As far as like him having a bad situation, his uncles know his mama, his uncles know his daddy. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be them possibly gave him an opportunity, and he still chose to move a certain way. So his uncles don't rock with him no more as a
Well,
grown man.
if you talking about criminal, if you choose the criminal lifestyle, it comes with consequences, and those consequences create more consequences. So it's not, and it's up to people if that's the way you want to go. You talking about the military, man? That's cutthroat. If a smart guy would join the military before he becomes a criminal, you want to talk about cutthroat criminals? They snitch on each other all the time, brother. I know on the internet and all that
I
stuff.
already know.
They go in there telling people everything, and don't let one guy start making more than the other guys, and see if they don't either rob him or drop a dime on him.
I got a
They do that
prettier
all the
girl, got a
time.
better connect. Yeah, I already know what it is. That's man, it don't have nothing to do with the streets. I realize that in just everyday life, man. Like when you try to really rock with somebody, um, try to get a job with somebody, somebody tell you about a job, and you realize the person really don't want you at their job. Like I rock by myself for a reason, G. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't. I can explain it to somebody, but nobody go see it like I see it because nobody done been through what I've been through. They don't know the people I know, the things I done seen, and I'm just cool over it. I don't even want no problems with you. I don't want to be around it. I ain't got to talk to you about it. I just dip.
Well,
Hey,
it's still your responsibility though to uh, get the things that you need to be the best man you can be. Is everybody's responsibility. So if a man finds himself at a crossroads in his life, he has to look in the mirror because he's not the only one. A lot of people are going through issues, and they're not things are not perfect for them. And see, just like right now, you got United States military people going to spend the Easter in Iran. You think that's cool? I'm not saying that they're not ready to fight. I'm saying that look at what they got to go through. Who wants to go through that just for that one day? But they have to go through it. So all of this, you got to have a perfect life. A lot of people don't have perfect lives.
I mean, almost nobody don't. But I don't know, man. Just the overall war situation you was talking about earlier about Trump not being truthful, and y'all, and, what's the other dude was like, he said, why Trump don't just tell the truth, man. Most people don't want to hear the truth. People comfortable with the lie, cause the truth gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You start telling people the truth, man, the truth gonna hurt. People gonna spaz out. People not gonna back you. They not gonna blindly follow you when the truth is said. People really, most people in your life is not gonna give you the opportunity to make the decision for yourself. They gonna give you like a watered down
Watered down
version
version,
or
or
some type of manipulation. Like it may be small, but the way they put it, it'll be like, you know what, he right. I'ma just roll with what he's saying. They ain't gonna put no truth behind it. They ain't gonna be like, well, look at your current situation right now. I know how recruiters work or how they was back in the day, because I ain't gonna forget when we was at the lunch table. We was, you know how we be rapping or whatever, you beating on the table and they'll walk up to the table and they'll come and join in because they ain't that much older. They may be 4 or 5 years older. Some of them do like I guess the reserves or whatever, but they still recruit for the extra check. So you talking to 23, 24-year old, you know what I'm saying? He telling you how his life was. And most likely he wasn't even living like that, but he gonna tell you whatever he gotta tell you to get you to sign these documents. And you go take this test. And like you said, on the weekends, they take you this place and that place. I just seen it happen, Fab. It's just I can have a homeboy lie to me, somebody that I know. But some random person coming up to me and lying, like I just can't follow people like that. And even then, I ain't saying I'm a coward or nothing like that, but I easily walk away, especially now in my life, man. I'm walking away, bro. You can only lie to me and play in my face so many times before I just be like, nah, this ain't it, big dog. I'm gonna go ahead and take another route, even if it win, lose, or draw, no matter what it make me look like. But I mean, I guess maybe 10 years ago
I
I
got
wasn't
you.
like that.
No, I got you.
But
I mean, that's if that's how you want to live your life,
yeah, I'm gonna move
but
around.
to boy, you got to let the what a lot of black men got to do. They got to let the hood go. They don't want to, and being in the hood, it carries with it consequences. And a lot of times, some do. I know dudes right now. 5 years means nothing to them. They live horrible now. They're living horrible. They don't run nothing. They work for somebody, just a little do boy for somebody, a little sent out, a little flunky. Uh, food stamps, welfare, uh, not really living. So not living of any note. So if they got 5 years, it's really not that big a deal for them because of the way they're living. So it's you have to understand when people are like that, you don't want to be around people like that.
At all.
Yeah, because that gives you the that can leave a lasting impression that that's a lot of people, a lot, and it's not. You just got to get out of that environment. And as a man, you're a man now. You got to let the youth and the past go. Yeah, you can still, and the rappers always something. You can still hang out with them. I mean, you can still see them. Something like that. Play basketball or something. But now you can't really rock with them. Hey, what you doing Friday? Now you can't move with them because they gonna get locked up.
I mean, I already know that too well, man. I ain't. I'm telling you, fam. When I go home, it be dolo. I be in the truck alone. I'm going out alone. I want to ride alone. If it ain't me and my kid, I really don't want to be bothered.
Well, that's life. That's called life, and you good, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
That's all you
I'm
got to do,
surviving.
man. Yeah, you got to be strong, man. I look at stuff like that as a test. You don't look at it as something bad. It's just a test, man.
I mean, I don't at all. I'm cool. I don't listen, fam. I don't have to call nobody if things go left for me. I already told you my situation financially. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the person to where I'll be the person to get a call before I be the person doing the calling. You know what I'm saying? And people already know how I am, so it ain't no need for you to call me. If I can't call you, you need not call me. Now my kid can freely call, but everybody else, I mean, I don't give my baby mama a hard time, but I got a kid with her. You feel what I'm saying? I choose to move different than the people around me. I choose to move different than my dad did. I don't need nobody around to tell me everything gonna be all right and the world is what it is. And that really ain't true. Everything don't always be all right. You gotta get up and you gotta get active. You gotta move around. You gotta cut people off. You gotta let people paint the picture of themselves, and you deal with what they showed you,
You
opposed
don't
to
even
me.
have, you don't even have to do that. All you got to do is just keep taking loads, because if you keep taking loads on that truck, if you keep time you come home or whatever, you only around maybe a day, if that, and then you back on the road for 2 weeks, and then you back for a day, and then you gone for a month, and they're gonna be cut off anyhow because of the way you living, because they're not living like that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be gone for months. But yeah, they this and I only get so much time. I go home. The next time I go home, my baby birthday. That's next month. I'm going home for about a week, and then I won't see it for 6 months.
Hey, you got
That's
you
my
got
plan.
you got to go to work. You got bills to pay.
I got a plan. I'm sticking to my plan no matter what.
Hmm.
Not really bills, but sticking to a plan.
And I know some dudes who tried to be trappers, and they never really made it outside of that lower level. What's that clown that got with Remy Ma, called himself a block captain?
Oh,
They got, yeah, he got about right there,
the
right?
rapper.
Yeah, yeah. But I get what he's saying. When he's like, he got a couple of guys working for him. That's about it. He run a block, right? And they got about right there. But now that they got older, and man, they wish they wouldn't have done that, because now they're in a situation where age, and they don't want to be around that lifestyle no more.
And they got kids, and you start looking at life, and you realize you waste your time with certain people because they the same way. If some things go down, you already know who's snitching. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be around that. I don't even want to hear stories like that. I ain't
Yeah,
saying
man.
everything positive, but when you have conversation with people, man, you want to hear some positivity, man. You want to hear some progression in their life. They getting to where they going.
Not for real though.
So I just
Yes.
I just let people be, man.
Well, it's what you make it, man. Your life, my life, K-Rack's life, everybody's life is what you make it. And I know people look at it from the standpoint that my mom did me wrong, my dad did me wrong, my boy, he lied on me, my girl, she lied on me. They look at it like that. But you got to just say, hey, I'm going to make the best out of it. And
But still hold people like that accountable though.
no, you can't control what other people do. And it don't have to make you feel like you can't trust people either. You can't trust that person, but life is filled with that, man. And you look at it as a life lesson, and it makes you better. That's all. None of this stuff should ever happen to you and grip you in a sense that you don't want to go forward. It's just called life, man. It's easier for some and harder. What are you gonna do with it? And then why does it have to be that though? Like you saying, like you drive a truck. So what? You up in El Segundo, parked on the side of the road with road runners and coyotes. You know, so what? You're taking a load in. You're doing what you got to do. That's what grown people have to do anyhow. They do what they got to do. Kids get to stay at home and play video games and
Wishful thinking.
run basketball all day that's kids. So that's why these guys over here, man. America's not going to forget about them. I don't care what Trump does or whatever. America's not going to forget about the troops, and they're going to be over there for Easter. And I know they're going to try their best to show that we're thinking about them, and we want them to come back home.
That's all, man. That's all. They just need to come back.
Yeah, man. Hope they make it home, man. Make it home with all their limbs and sane to get what they work for.
Well, yeah, but anybody can lose their mind, though, man. Just life. Too much. Sometimes the pressure just gets too much, man, and you snap.
Yeah, for sure. Hope it never happens.
But yeah, man, we wanted to talk about it. Trump said that they're leaving a couple of weeks. He said the war is over. They don't have any weapons. They had their largest payloads dumped on Israel last night. Trump said they don't have any weapons, but he said they're going to get out of here. He said straight to Hormuz. He ain't trying to open it. He wants to get out of there. I don't know about BB. Will BB let him go? I hope he gets out of there, man. And we don't even know the ramification of all the problems, the economics, how it's going to impact us. We don't even know. We don't know. So
We're gonna see though.
Yep, we wanted to put that out there. We did. We put our message out here, and we'll come back probably tomorrow with some more information, man. So we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast right here, man. Like the stream, man. Reach
All
down
right,
there, hit the like. You need to help us out. Like the stream, man. Hit the super chat, hit the cash app, support the platform. We're gonna keep it coming. You know, we get some of these streams. I really don't have a time. I do them when I can. But like I said, I'm gonna try to keep you informed. I appreciate you guys showing up. Hopefully, Trump will bring the prisoners home. Hopefully, he'll bring them home, and we can turn the page.